GameCola faithful, and welcome to the GameCola Podcast. This is podcast number 86, and I am your new podcast commander, Joseph Martin. With me today, I have Michael Gray, Alex Jedraszczak, and Jeff. Last name. Your name isn't on the thing.
You're fired.
Pro.
Jeff Pro.
Jeff Rowe, yes.
There.
It's named after his afro, yes.
How'd you know?
Everyone, introduce yourselves.
My name's Jeff Rowe. I have an afro.
I am Alex.
What?
I'm Alex. That was it. I'm a man who needs no introduction.
You haven't had one in the past,
It's
50
true.
podcasts. You just sort of say you're Alex Jedraszczak, and then that's it.
I've been deposed as podcast commander after much fighting and screaming and explosions. Joseph Martin was the one who came out on top.
It's sort of like how Rome spread themselves too thin. Jeddy spread his power control. He tried to assert too much control of GameCola, and it became decentralized, and it became easy to just sort of, attack his weak points. Michael, why don't you introduce yourself?
I'm Michael Gray. I used to be the podcast commander before Jeddy dethroned me, so...
It's true.
Jeddy and I are going to form an alliance and overthrow you, perhaps.
Yes.
I'm just going to sit in my corner and edit
as long as
the
we
Q&A.
can get back
As we mentioned in the previous podcasts, I recorded, every 3 days? And listed them all as April 18th, because I like that. It was a busy day for me.
Was there a schedule for the podcast back then? I mean, I've been keeping it monthly.
It was every other Tuesday, I thought. It was something like that, every other Tuesday. I'm guessing. I don't remember anymore.
Wait, there was a Tuesday this week? You know what happened last week? There was an E3.
There was.
There was an E3.
I mean, what is E3?
Well, I was trying to go for a classic segue to get over into that topic, but it failed miserably.
Well,
what even is E3?
What does it stand for?
The Elephants Elect Entertainers Expo. Wait, that's...
Electronic Entertainment Expo for anybody who is curious.
No, I thought it was Eat 3, one of those diet initiatives.
Eat Elegant Eagles.
The food pyramid. You have to eat 3 parts of the pyramid.
Eat three food pyramids a day?
Yeah, something like that. They have that new food pyramid.
And you eat it.
Don't even eat the food, just eat the pyramid.
I'm gonna Google the new food pyramid.
I think it's not. I think it's
the old new food pyramid, Jeddy.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's a food plate now.
Oh,
because that's boring.
Well, but this is Eat 4. They have vegetables, whole grains, healthy protein, and fruits. The healthy eating plate. So where does Eat 3 come in? Are you supposed to... if you're gluten-free, you just eat vegetables, fruits, and protein?
Don't know, Jeddy. I don't know.
Why are we even talking about health on a gaming podcast?
Jeddy
You brought it up!
Make me look bad on the first...
I just wanted to do a nice segue.
By immediately going off topic onto food charts.
Yes, my plan is
Well,
working.
I feel...
Joseph will not be long for this podcast.
I feel like We Fit is designed. Does We Fit... Which food pyramid does We Fit go with?
How does We Fit in the food pyramid?
Where does wine fit into this food pyramid?
I don't know. So
E3.
So E3 happened. There were lots of cool new games. Did anyone follow E3 in any capacity?
The only thing I saw was the weird puppet thing with Nintendo. Was that part of E3 or was that just Nintendo doing its own thing?
It was Nintendo. So Nintendo doesn't like, you know how people have their conferences where they go to E3 and they stand up on a stage and say things about their stuff?
Yeah.
Nintendo doesn't really do that anymore. They just do a live stream.
Okay.
That's broadcast during E3, and then they still have games on like the floor and stuff, but they don't do a broadcast. Though this time I think they replaced where they would have done a broadcast with like the World Championship thing.
Ooh, I saw that.
So there were lots of stuff there, but their conference where they sort of talked about their new games was just a live, pre-recorded live stream.
Well, while we're on the topic of Nintendo, I want to say one of my favorite games that I'm looking forward to is actually Triforce Heroes. And the weird thing was, like, I remember a long time ago, I actually thought about a concept where you play as, like, 3 different people, and then you work together to try and achieve a common goal. But the only difference was I was thinking, like, you can use Link, Zelda, and Ganondorf, and they all work together. And instead of this one, where you have to play as 3 Links.
It's funny, though, because they don't just have different colors. They have different hair, too.
Oh, yeah, you can dress Link up as in Zelda costume.
Wait. We can dress Link up as Zelda? Wait, who's
Yes.
Link? I thought... Okay, I'm so confused.
Is
Is
this
Zelda a boy in this one? No. Zelda needs to be a girl. Okay, there we go. I see it now.
So wait, are you guys talking about The Legend of Zelda 3 Swords Adventures?
Basically.
Sure.
Yeah,
I think it's basically that, but like made for 3DS.
It's more advanced because you can, like, change your costume and it will give you different abilities.
So if you dress up like Princess Zelda, what ability does that give you? The ability to only appear twice in the game during cutscenes?
How'd you know?
I was just guessing.
That's a good guess.
Yeah, I mean, it looks basically like 4 Swords except with 3 people and on 3DS.
And you can stand on top of each other.
Yes, that too. I never actually ended up playing. I got a free 4 Swords for my 3DS, which I imagine that you can connect up to other 3DSs that have it and play with other people. But I've never found someone who has it to play it with. Because that's, I feel like I've talked about this on the podcast before, but it just seems like one of those games where you really should, not play it alone.
Yep.
So I guess Nintendo doesn't know their audience then,
When have they ever?
because all of their audience members are alone. Very alone.
Well, when are they coming
No,
out with
I have the Thor swords. I have the exact same situation as our podcast commander. It's like I've got the free 4 swords. Nobody to play with. Has anybody ever street passed anyone in real life? Because I haven't.
Only at conventions and like once at an airport.
I think I've done it once or twice back in high school. Or maybe in college, I don't remember.
I actually went to the local high school. It would be creepy for like an adult to go to high school, so I just took a walk around the high school. Like, I'm just a normal adult person getting exercise like normal adults do. Totally not trying to get 3DS matches. And nobody 3DS'd me, so I just had to stay at home. I mean, I just went home and like, really, these high school kids are lame.
I'm curious what people's opinions are of the backwards compatibility announced for the Xbox One. The way I look at it, I think they should have done that from the beginning instead of waiting until this time just to announce something that probably should have been built in.
I think that's kind of what everyone said is basically when they came out with the Xbox One, they were like, we're moving forward, so we're going to abandon everything in the past. No one ever plays used games. And then, like, basically everyone ever was like, Microsoft, what are you doing? And so finally, like, however long it's been since then now, they're like, maybe that was a bad idea.
Was it 2 years since that terrible conference for the Xbox One?
Oh, yeah.
Was it 2 years? Was it 2 E3s? Because I think it was. It was at E3, wasn't it?
It was definitely more than a year because I think has it been out? It's been out for a year now, right?
Yeah.
And then it was 2 years ago that it was announced.
Yeah. And that went over terrible.
And like the whole argument of like, well, now what do you call the original Xbox?
the original Xbox. I mean, but to be fair, I don't think I've ever heard anyone really talk about the original Xbox that frequently.
True.
Like, it's not really that much of a point of contention, because the Xbox gained its popularity with the 360.
Yeah.
Like, that's when it was like, yes, Xbox.
Also, I guess, like, people call it the PS1 because the PS2, PS3, PS4. But, like, when the Super Nintendo came out, I called the original Nintendo the original Nintendo. Like, I didn't call it the Nintendo 1. I mean, I guess Xbox 360 does have a number in it.
Yeah.
But, like, it's not quite the same as, PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2.
Mm-hmm. Because if you go out and just give them numbers, if the first one doesn't have a number, but then the other ones are 2, 3, 4, 5, 6,
Yeah.
then the first one's probably going to be called the 1.
So has Nintendo come out with their next console yet?
They announced it. It was supposed to be called, I think, NX.
That's right.
I
Yeah.
think that's like its code. That's like it's still in its like dolphin
Yeah, exactly.
stage.
Yeah. Well, I just think they're going to call it the Wii 2.
No, the what was I've heard so many, like the Wii Us or just the Wii, like WI.
That is a disaster in the making.
Or I just like the concept of...
Not as bad as Wii 2. Think about that.
See, and
Like,
that's the thing. It's like...
Do you guys want to play games? Wii 2.
Well, like, Wii also. Like, Wii 2. Like, but I just like the concept of, like, there's the Wii, and there's the Wii U. So then the third console is going to be the Wii 2.
Why not call it Ni?
Yes.
Ni!
I hope...
Yeah, the like to play Ni!
That was just... Oh, the Wii Ni, which, Japanese, Ni is 2.
Oh, no. No, please no.
It'll be the WIINII. The Wii Ni.
Oh, gosh.
Only on the GameCola Podcast.
I do think that it's like one of those things, right? I mean, let's see, because it went Nintendo Entertainment System,
Yep.
Super Nintendo Entertainment System, then technically Virtual Boy, but
Well, I mean, you can include Game Boy.
right. But that's like their whole, like, in terms of like naming like consoles. Then there would be the Nintendo. The thing is like the Nintendo 64.
Yeah.
So like, because it was like the branding thing was that Nintendo name, just having the name Nintendo on it.
Yeah.
That was like the thing. Whereas now I'm worried that since they've got their new audience, they're gonna have to call everything the Wii something, or their new audience isn't gonna know that it's made by the same people.
Yeah. I mean, in Japan, it was the Famicom and the Super Famicom, and then oddly the Nintendo 64. I don't know. GameCube.
Or you can just throw the amiibo on it.
And you got GameCube is just like, yes, that's what it is.
It's a cube that plays games.
It literally was.
Did have a neat handle though.
Carrying case.
No, not a carrying case. It was just like it had a handle on the back.
Yeah, but like it just seems like a little carrying case. Like, did anyone use it like that? Like, I'm gonna carry this to my friend's house?
No, not like that, but I mean, like, you could really easily carry it with one hand.
But when would you?
If you want to move it around the house, or if you want to pack it up somewhere.
Yeah, because you're not going to take it to a friend's house. Remember, all Nintendo fans are lonely.
Have they talked about what sort of features they expect on the Nix?
I haven't heard anything about it except that code name.
I thought I remember hearing something about, like, they were going to try and partner with Microsoft to develop it.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. That sounds like just all those pre-console rumors.
Yeah, let's make some up.
Let's make up some rumors.
It has a handle.
Live.
I like it. I like where you're going with this.
All right, it's got a handle.
I'm going to make one prediction. It's going to have last generation graphics, just like all of the recent Nintendo consoles.
It's probably going to have no backwards compatibility like every other new system. And then they'll confirm it 2 years later.
It'll probably have its own new eShop. Like, you know, the Wii had its own eShop, the DS had its own eShop,
Oh, so
3DS
that
had
you
its
then...
own eShop, the Wii U had its own eShop, so now it's going to have its whole new eShop, and they're going to slowly release games for it again.
See, and I can buy my, 15th copy of Final Fantasy II.
Yeah, and 2 years later, 2 years after the console and the online stores release, Capcom will be like, hey, Mega Man fans, we still remember Mega Man. We're going to start slowly releasing Mega Man titles on this new Nintendo console because we care about you.
Remember Mega Man 9, that classic video game back in the day?
They haven't... Is Mega Man 9's on the Wii U console, right? Is it? I don't know.
Yeah,
if it is.
I think so.
I don't know.
I feel like I remember reading somewhere that it actually isn't. Like, it's WiiWare. It didn't end up on the Wii U console yet. Like, have you guys heard about the Mega Man Legacy Collection?
No. I heard the name somewhere, but I don't... Oh, I think you said something about it to me.
Yeah, it's Capcom is releasing a game called the Mega Man Legacy Collection. Now, fellow podcasters, if given the fact that there's the Mega Man Anniversary Collection, what do you think would be included on this new, what features would be present on this new collection that would be given to us?
Can I level with you here?
What?
I think it's going to be the Classic Series, the X Series, combined maybe with Mega Man Legends.
No, it's not.
It's gonna be Mega Man 1 through 10.
No.
That was a good guess, though.
Mega Man 1 through 6?
Yes, just
nothing
1
else?
through 6.
But
Not
then-
even 7 and 8, which were on the original Anniversary Collection.
Oh my god.
They're not... They're like they're not changing anything. Like, they're not even going to include, like, they were asked questions about, like, hey, are you going to do some parts where you're going to remove the sprite flicker and the lag? And they were like, no, we couldn't possibly change such a tried and true game. It's like, for Mega Man 10, you made a laggy version and a non-laggy version. You could at least make a version since you're taking 2 games away from the last Anniversary Collection you did.
Or they can just keep digging their hole in the ground.
They have talked about adding a challenge mode, but I still don't know what that is.
Oh my god, because they haven't added that in the Anniversary Collection.
No, there's not a challenge. The Anniversary Collection does just have the game straight up. There's not a challenge mode, as far as I know. But I don't know, I don't know what it's going to be. Is it going to be like, complete this screen that's in the game? Like, they could be that, or it could be, there's like, you can post your speedrun time on leaderboards if you want, which...
Gosh, like they haven't done this before in
it's
Mega Man
also-
9 and 10.
Also, I'm curious, how much do you think it costs?
Oh, I'm reading it now.
Well, okay,
It's
then,
not coming out from my Wii U? Oh, darn.
It's going to
I
be
don't have a Wii U,
released on the
never mind.
Nintendo Entertainment System.
it's going to be released on, I think, PC and then PS4 store and Xbox One store.
Yeah, PC, PS4, Xbox One. Oh, PC comes out sometime this summer, though, I think. PC comes out later because reasons.
Sorry, I Googled Mega Man Legacy Collection. I see this E3 2015 article saying Capcom proves Mega Man is still relevant with the Legacy Collection.
It doesn't. They're just re-releasing the same games over and over again. I already have like 3 copies of Mega Man 2. I don't need any more.
Anyway, it costs $15?
Yeah.
Really?
$15.
I was
I guess
expecting them
that's
to
too bad.
charge a full 60.
Yeah. Well, it's a digital download. If it was coming out on like a case, then yeah. But since it's a digital download, there's only so much you can get away with. Hold on a second.
Joe,
I'm back.
are you
I
okay? Okay.
had to get my phone, which was across the room, but I didn't want to get out of my chair.
Well, it says Mighty Number 9 comes out in September, and maybe Capcom wants to kill that project? I don't know.
I have decided that I'm not gonna play that until it comes out in full to get the experience.
What
Which
is
game?
it?
Mighty Number 9?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Mega Man whatever collection versary thing has already come out in full, technically. Like, just gonna
Yes.
say The Mega Man 1 through 6 have already been released in full.
I've played Mega Man.
Yes, but I want a database of every single enemy I've killed.
That's true, and
So
you're
I can
not going to
look
get
up
it
and see
without.
how-
Yeah,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
going to give you the count of how many times you've killed. I don't even. I'm not going to pretend that I even know what the names of any Mega Man characters are.
The metal?
The bat. Let's say the
The
bat,
bat.
enemy. Yeah.
The baton
yeah.
tots.
Is that the name of it?
That's the name of them.
What's the name of the helmet thing?
That's the Met or Metul or
Metals.
Hard Hat.
That is so dumb.
Sniper
That is the
Joe.
worst.
There's Sniper Joe, Susie's.
Where's
Those are the-
Nathaniel when you need him?
There's
Yeah.
the Susie's are the
Not here.
one eye things that are only in Mega Man 1. Or no, they bring them back in 9 and 10. But they were for a while. Trying to think of any other names off the top of my head.
What's the name of the green guy that swings around the thing and then throws it at you, and you're like trying to climb up the ladder, but he's like throwing the thing at you?
Those are called Hammer Joes.
Those are called hammer joes. They swing their muddy arm around throwing. So you better watch your...
Please
Number,
tell
you
me
know
there's a
this.
fanfic.
Jetty.
Please tell me there's a fanfic with Hammer Joes meeting Hammer Bros.
Oh, crossover.
That should be in the next Hacks and Slash.
Yeah.
Someone should write
Well, there doesn't appear to be any fanfic. Somebody write that. Let me
Somebody.
search for fanfic.
I was sad to hear that there's no
Hammers and
Crystalis
fire,
fanfics.
perhaps.
There are no Crystalis fan fictions?
What
Michael
about
Gray, search.
Crystalis?
Okay, search for it. Search for Crystalis fanfics.
Include the AHHHHH.
We're gonna find one
Okay,
that
well,
has to do with us on the GameCola staff.
Oh, yeah, he's right. We've got Cry of Fear, Crypt of the Necrodancer with 3, Crisis with 26, and then Custom Robo. Oh, man. So I think there's a third category for just like uncategorized or various games. Perhaps that might be where it is. Because that's
Like-
where the Grinch Stole Christmas fan fiction is. So
Let
if
me
you look
search-
just for Crystalis, you get 16 results, 7 of which are classified as games. Final Fantasy: The Knights of Crystalis. That's rated Final Fantasy 1 through 6. I feel
Okay.
like it's a weird idea to have all 6 of those games in one category, where all the other Final Fantasy games
Yeah.
get their own.
Yeah.
But I was going to ask this because Jeddy knows about Nintendo stuff. Weren't there things done in the original Final Fantasy because there wasn't enough room on the cartridge?
I mean, like, it was a horrible, buggy nightmare, but, like, what are you
Well, yeah, but
specifically...
I was going to ask specifically because I know, didn't they later release for the NES? I mean, this was a Famicom only. Final Fantasy 1 and Final Fantasy 2 on the same cartridge.
I don't... Actually, hold on, give me just a second, because... Yeah, sorry, I actually already had open, because I was going to make a joke about Final Fantasy Anthology and then Final Fantasy Chronicles, because we were talking about the Mega Man Legends game, or
Legacy.
whatever, I don't care. But yes, okay, apparently it lists a 1994 Japan-only release, Final Fantasy 1 and 2 for the Nintendo Entertainment System.
I'm just wondering how they managed to fit both games on the exact same cartridge without the cartridge exploding, because I thought both of those games pushed the cartridge to the max.
Well, the thing is, I mean, similar stuff happened on the Super Nintendo, is that, like, the amount of stuff that they could fit inside the cartridge grew, and also as they get more money, they have more money to spend on more expensive cartridges. Like the same way, you have a micro USB or micro SD card that can fit like, a terabyte on it now. Like the same thing happened back then, is that like, sure, in 1983, they could only fit so much for Final Fantasy 1, but then by the time that by the time that 1988
1994
or whatever,
came around, yeah.
yeah, they could fit way more within the limits of the cartridge, and so they just crammed them both in there and made more money. I wonder how many
that
people.
makes sense because
Oh, sorry, I was just gonna say. I wonder how
think
many
I
people
wrote-
bought Final
we
Fantasy.
can't do this. No.
Everything is falling apart. Joe, what are you doing?
What am I supposed to
This is your fault.
kick you both off the call until you can stop talking over each other?
Yeah, Yes. All I'm gonna say is I wonder how many people bought Final Fantasy 1 and 2 who had already previously bought Final Fantasy 1 and 2. That was all I was gonna say. Go
Well,
ahead, Michael.
speaking of
Go ahead.
something similar, I don't know if I wrote an inside the guide about Final Fantasy 1 and 2, but if I didn't, then I didn't. But with my my series, I tried to write about Castlevania. Did I write the bonus edition of that series? Because I wrote something on all 3 of the Castlevania games, and then there was
Right.
Castlevania game number 4 for the Game Boy Advance, which was just games 2 and 3 put together on the same cartridge.
I don't think you did.
Oh, okay. Well, anyway, they had a game which was just, GBA Game 2 and GBA Game 3. And the problem is they have connectivity between the DS Castlevania games and the Game Boy Advance one. But if you got the bundled game, there's no connectivity whatsoever.
That's right. No, you did mention that. I remember you saying that you specifically saved up your money to get this or something, and then it didn't work.
Yeah, and it was sad because the DS version was so much better than the Game Boy Advance version. Well, I think I was just impressed because it's like, whoa, the graphics are so much better. But yeah, the only Crystalis fanfic I'm seeing is it wants to show My Little Pony fanfic, which is misspelled Crystalis, not Crystalis. That's the name of one of the bad guys on Pony who's only showed up once, so of course there's a million fanfics about her.
Yes, always.
Getting back to E3 though,
Yeah. I definitely eat all 3.
I feel like I should know
parts
about
of the healthy
Fire
portion
Emblem.
plate.
Yeah, there's a Fire Emblem crossover game that was announced, right?
I know, and if I feel bad because it's a crossover with Shin Megami Tensei, and I can't even pronounce that correctly. I don't think. I actually, for last Christmas or the Christmas before, it was really hard getting people to be able to purchase this game. So I got Shin Megami Tensei Devil Summoner Soul Hackers with the free music CD. Anyway, I'm just saying, I got this specifically so I could, in fact, play the game and understand the crossover, and the crossover's Wii U only now. So I'm like, oh.
Well, there are 2 games. There's a Fire Emblem Fates and then Shin Megami Tensei Fire Emblem crossover. Were both announced or talked about at least. I'm trying to see if I can get any information. So yeah,
I'm still stuck on playing Fire Emblem, Fire Emblem 2 for the Famicom.
But the Fire Emblem Fates is for 3DS. One of the games that I thought looked cool was Mario and Luigi Paper Jam, or Paper whatever it's called. I don't know if it's still called that or if that was their Mario and Luigi.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, Paper Jam.
Okay, sorry, I'm opening up my Shin Megami thing and checking out this. Oh my gosh, it comes with its own CD, with its own booklet and everything. It's cool. So yeah, Paper Mario. Mario is doing a crossover with Mario.
Yeah. One Mario series is doing a crossover with another Mario series. And it's...
Oh, next they're going to have Mario inside Mario Kart.
New Super Mario Brothers, Wii 3DS U2, Mario Kart's inside Super Sluggers in Time
Of the Galaxy.
Yeah, of the Sunshining Galaxy 64.
That sounds like a secret code of some kind.
They could have the Wii U 2, which comes with a pre-installed album from critically acclaimed band U2. We know that worked very well. A similar endeavor previously.
Oh, this Mario RPG looks fantastic. I must buy. Oh.
Well, I'm worried that they're gonna take all the sticker star stuff. Like they're gonna ignore the 3 other Paper Marios and just it's not gonna. I'm worried that it's gonna be Mario and Luigi crossover with Sticker Star and not crossover with Paper Mario as a whole.
Okay, yeah, I'm just thinking, I'm seeing the screenshots of Paper Mario with the 3D Mario, and it's reminding me of Jimmy Neutron meets the Fairly Odd Parents.
Yes, it does look a bit like that.
But I've opened the Shin Megami thing, and the CD, this free CD, which probably they charged like $10 extra for the CD.
It's
got 6
$10
songs on
extra for the free CD.
Yep.
6 songs?
6 songs, all about 2 to 3 minutes long. So I got
I'm just
like
reminded of the
20 minutes of music. Oh, but it's not for resale.
I was gonna say is you
Yeah, I
can
have
give
a feeling I'm
away
not
the
going to be
game
able
as
to
a gift.
understand this game.
So you can give away the game as a gift, and you can separately give away the music CD as a gift to somebody else.
But you can't sell it to them.
I always like the candy bars that
This
say,
does...
not individually labeled for resale. Like when you get like a bag of like candy bar miniature candy bars, like fun size. It says like not individually labeled for resale. So like who is gonna charge like a nickel for those?
All right, what other games were announced?
You know, the podcast is getting so off topic now that I'm not the one in charge.
I was literally just saying an on-topic thing, Jeddy.
I was actually going to jump over to my topic of the news that I was going to say that concerns games or used games.
What news that concerns games?
Well,
used
Mark
games?
Friedman actually posted about this on GameCola, about GameStop starting a program about buying back used games all the way to the Nintendo Entertainment System.
Oh yeah.
Now, what is everyone else's thoughts on that? Do you think it would work out? Because they said it was supposed to be just a test market, and if it goes well, they'll expand it to the other GameStops.
I don't know what I would buy old games for anymore. I'm sorry. I don't know what I'd use them for.
I mean, they really hit it at probably the worst time now that it's so easy to just buy games. Because, it would have been really, back in, 2006 or 2005 prior, it would have been a really good market to hit because there was just no way to play those games. But now that, you've got Wii Shop Channel, you've got Xbox Live Store, you've got all the, and just how easy it is to do it not the legal way as it used. And it's just I don't think it's really gone from this thing that actually has a demand to the only reason people would buy this is if they're collectors and want to get into the original for the most part.
Yeah, well, I think it's just mainly for trade-ins. But it's like you said, there's no reason to try and sell it unless somebody wants to, to collect it. Or, I mean, there's some, I have the Retron 5, which, if you guys don't know what that is, it's a hybrid console that plays the original cartridges for the NES, the SNES, Famicom, Sega Genesis, and Game Boy Advance. Which, I mean, if you're into playing it legally, then yeah, technically this could work out for you. But again, otherwise you have emulators and all this crap. So why would you want to go out and buy the original game? You can just download an emulator.
Or just download it on your other console.
Or that too.
Why buy? Because, to get an NES game, you'd have to go out and first buy an NES. Hope that works. Then buy a game cartridge, hope that works.
I mean, he was just talking
and
about
then play the game and hope you have fun.
Yeah, on the original system without save states. I don't know, I guess
it's
in a way...
It's funny because... Oh.
Go ahead.
Man, Alex and Jeddy just keep interrupting each other. Wait.
You say Alex and Jeddy. Oh no,
Alex and Jeddy just can't
has
get
been
along.
revealed. Michael Gray and Alex Jedraszczak were secretly just two split personalities of the same person.
Yep.
They're really good at talking at the same time.
I took over the podcast from myself.
You and your split personality are going to try and take over the podcast.
You taking it back.
What were you saying?
I was going, which one of us?
Go ahead, Michael. Go ahead.
Well, no, I was going to say, the only reason I play old games now is for the purposes of speedrunning, and they are the ones that require you to either have the original system, or they'll accept some games on, the Wii store and such.
Yeah, my
Wait, what is
reasoning
this?
for
Somebody tried to do a speedrun of a Nancy Drew game without my permission? Oh, I'm taking you down.
I think my reason would be a little bit more different because I mean I make YouTube videos, and sometimes when you're playing emulators, they're all either messed up or there's a lot of graphical issues with it. So it's probably safer to play the original game.
Well, it's easier to cheat if you're doing on an emulator too. So
Yeah,
that's part of the
and plus it just feels more right if you actually play it with the original controller and everything. Send us your thoughts in the or mail.
In the actual mail, the GameCola headquarters.
Right across from
1337
Nintendo headquarters.
1337 Internet Drive.
So when is my...
Cyberspace Superhighway.
I'm trying to
www
figure
Street.
out when my Nancy Drew speedrun is going to be uploaded. It got accepted, and then they haven't posted it forever.
What jerks?
It's okay. I think they got frozen for whatever reason. So 2 of my speedruns are now on their website. The third one, which I did in January, is not. And by the time you're listening to this, it's probably still not going to be there.
You should go out for AGDQ.
Oh, amazing or awesome games done quick.
Yeah, we play Nancy Drew.
I would, but they...
What's this?
It's
I hear an
complicated.
excuse coming along.
Yeah, they moved the West Coast. The summer one, SGDQ, they moved it from Colorado to Minneapolis, and Minneapolis is not West Coast.
No, it's not.
Sorry.
Was Colorado?
I was gonna say Colorado isn't. I mean, if you had said
Colorado isn't either, but at least Colorado is within driving distance of my house. So I'm I'm not going to book a plane ticket all the way to Minneapolis on the odds that I might get picked to perform in this thing.
Well, how do they do it? I thought they'd contact people ahead of time. You don't just go.
Basically, what happens is that they just kind of have an open call, and whoever says somebody submits, it's hey, I want to play Super Mario 64. I'm gonna get all 120 stars in 2 hours. You have an estimated time, and basically they take that list of submissions and they decide which ones they want and which ones they don't want. And now they're just so popular that it's 70% just have to be rejected out of hand because they would take too long.
Well, I think they try to look. It seems like they try to look for people who stream it so they can see that yes, they can regularly reproduce.
Yeah, they do want somebody. Yeah, who knows what they're doing too. You're right.
You want someone who can do it consistently, not someone who has done a good speedrun once. They would want someone who can consistently do it, do a game in an hour rather than someone who once did the game in 40 minutes. Yeah,
I mean, if you watch SDDQ, when you're speedrunning a game, there are strategies that you kind of have to do. I mean, when they're doing this live, whatever you call it, they don't do the risky speedrun strategies, if that makes sense. They have to do the safer ones.
Now that we're mentioning, this speedrun conventions and everything, I'm looking at this podcast topic pile, and there's a question here that says, ever been to a video game convention?
I have not.
I did, but I feel like I must have talked about it on the podcast when I did. It was back in January.
Well, that actually brings something up from what I was planning for the GameCola staff. For those of you who are aware of MagFest, it's a music and gaming convention.
Yeah, that's the one that I was at.
Yep. I was planning on having the GameCola crew go along, which we didn't go this year. But if you want to see us go, feel free to send your condolences in the GameCola mail.
Yeah, we tried, and it just sort of most people ended up having some sort of scheduling conflict. I think I was the only one from the staff who ended up actually being there. Paul was going to go, and then some things came up last minute, I think.
Wait, this year?
Last January.
Okay, because I wanted to go this year and nobody was able to go.
I remember we couldn't get a big group because it was just me and Paul.
Because I remember I ended up ordering my ticket. I was supposed to go with a friend. He ended up bailing on me too, so I didn't end up going.
Yeah.
I'm hoping we can go this year though.
Well,
GC Magfest 2K16.
Yes.
We'll see. I was
Put the
actually
donate link below to get Joseph Martin to go to MagFest.
No.
Just make sure he's not in charge of any podcasts there.
No, thank you. No thank you.
The live cast live at MagFest 2016.
That would be interesting.
It will only be
Doing-
5 seconds long.
Doing a
Hello, the end.
podcast from a convention.
Yep.
That could be an
Actually-
idea.
Yeah. I mean, I've seen people do that sort of thing,
Yeah,
like do a podcast at the thing.
but it's like it would just be more. I feel like it would just be more enjoyable to do it after the convention. After everything's happened. If you do it in the middle of it, first of all, you're
you're
at your
missing everything.
convention, you're missing out on stuff.
Yeah.
B, there's stuff that could happen that you wouldn't be able to talk about because it hasn't happened yet.
Once it happens during the podcast, then you'll be the first one to know.
Except all the time that it'll take for us to upload it.
Unless you live stream it and then record it.
Live cast at MagFest.
And that's what we'll do. Unfortunately, I don't think the 100th
Magcast.
100 podcast falls in January or February.
Start delaying tactics.
Yeah, either we need to hurry up and do like a bunch of podcasts, or we need to.
Miss a couple days.
yeah.
Well, it's more than a year away, so because this is 86, so that means we have 14 left.
Yep.
Which means that right now it's going to be in September
Really need to.
that it will
hurry
be
up.
uploaded. You could aim for this coming January, I suppose, or next January. Back to what
Back
about
on topic. Wow.
the Steam summer sale happened. Did anyone jump on that? On some sweet summer deals?
I
Those were
did buy.
deals?
I did buy a copy of Blood Bowl Chaos Edition so that we can have our GameCola Blood Bowl League.
Oh yeah.
Did anybody buy Pizzarian?
I have
don't-
no idea.
Did it go on-
Honestly,
Did it go on sale?
I haven't touched Pizzarian in like a long time.
I got VVVVVVV, or I don't know how many V's. That one, the one with the V's. If you know
That's
it,
too many
you
V's.
know
You
it.
have to edit that out later.
There's 6 of them.
6 V's. I bought that. I bought Shovel Knight, and I bought Guns of Icarus to play with some of my friends. All 3 of those games I have not yet touched. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna have so much fun playing these games, and it's like, nope, no time for games now. I should have time for it next week, but
I would personally recommend Guns of Icarus. I run this network called Game Hub Studios, which I want to turn into like a multi-channel network. But we have the series called Hub Profile, where we promote different YouTube channels. And one of them has been playing Guns of Icarus a lot, and he really enjoys it.
yeah, it's pretty pop. I've heard good things. I also want to see if Shovel Knight is the hey, look, it's Mega Man that everyone claims it is. Because it doesn't look. I mean, like.
Well, he's got a shovel, so he can dig a hole in the ground and bury himself.
Oh, okay.
Just
Thank you.
like Mega Man.
Thank you, Jeff. The salt in the wound is much appreciated.
Hey, maybe Shovel Knights will get a Legacy Edition too.
Pain and suffering.
Sounds like a bunch of shovelware to me.
Oh, my heart is dying. But, I mean, like, it doesn't, just because it's not Mega Man wouldn't mean it's not good. But it might not be Mega Man.
It's the Mega Man game where you get to play as Shovel Man.
But, like, it seems to have more of it kind of like choose your own order, but not entirely. Like, its level choosing structure looks like, I think, Mega Man and Base, where like it's sort of like a tree, and so you have the first one, but then that opens 2 possible ones, and each of those opens 2 possible ones.
That was such a good game, Mega Man and Base.
So I think that's how it works, but I don't know. Like, you don't get weapons, but I do think you can get access to power-ups as you play, and you might.
Is that if you kill the bosses?
I don't think they come directly from the bosses, though. I think that would be the major difference, which is fine. It doesn't to be
And it's not
Mega
Mega
Man
Man.
like. No, but to be Mega Man like,
But
in
it's
the
not
good
like
way.
it's not like Mega Man. You don't kill bosses and get enemies.
Right. But the good part about Mega Man's level design was that you could get these different weapons and abilities at different times
I
and
thought the
then
beauty of
progress
Mega
through.
Man's level was the design was that it could teach players about the level and without the tedious.
That's every pre
There's a hole in the zip line.
night, like every 90s 80s good game did that, because you couldn't do tutorials. They didn't make the decision not to use tutorials. You just couldn't. There wasn't enough space.
Let me stop you there because Dragon Warrior was not like that.
They had a tutorial.
No.
That's what I'm saying, though. Like, if they were good in the whole teaching players how to do things, it was because they had to be. I'm not saying all games like that were good. I'm just saying that most of the good games did that, because if they didn't, it was really frustrating.
I have no idea what you're doing.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like Mario and Zelda, they all had to do that because you wouldn't know what you were doing unless the game conveyed to you what you were supposed to do.
Yeah, it's all in the manual.
What I'm saying is Mega Man was not really that unique in that front. Yes, it was good at that, but that's not what makes it like unique. It's the being able to play the game again with different, being able to play the game like a different way with a different weapon set every single time, and having, being able to actually use that, like, it means something. It changes how you approach different challenges and stuff. That's why I like Mega Man. Also the corny story.
I'm confused. What are we talking about? I
Mega
feel like
Man.
we wouldn't be lost if
I'm in charge of the podcast now, so we're talking about Mega Man.
The Megacast.
He's gonna rename it to Megacast.
GameCola Megacast number 1, which is the name permanently. That's not like the number. That's the name. GameCola Megacast number 1. Number 1.
Number 1.
Number fun.
Number 1.
number one, number fun, number 1.
Exactly.
And then
Number
number
done.
1, number fun, number 2.
The last one will be number done.
All right.
What's our next topic?
Well, we didn't. Did anyone else buy any Steam sale games?
No, the Steam sale's over.
Does anyone on GameCola play games?
No.
Steam,
I guess that doesn't keep us from
so-
buying them.
Thought that was
We
the whole
buy
point
them,
of
we don't
Steam.
play them though.
Thought that was the whole point of Steam. That's what I did. I just told you about buying 3 games and not playing them.
Ooh, wait,
Just
I can
stare
see what
at
games
them.
I bought. I got a game. I got a game actually.
What'd you get?
Wait, no, I didn't. Did I? I got Campfire Legends: The Hook Man, which is mainly just a hidden objects game, but it's about these people. These girls are at a campfire, and they tell the spooky story of how the Hook Man came and just totally started killing people one by one.
Sounds like a good story. I mean, game.
Yep. Game. Apparently, it's a trilogy, so I'm looking forward to playing the others. So.
That reminds me, I saw this article that it was like questioning if video games were going to be the future of movies. It's probably like pointing more at like those visual novels like Sakura Spirit. But what do you guys think?
I mean, games have been becoming more cinematic.
That would be movies becoming the future
feel-
of games.
It's true.
Well, I've been watching, I watched the Daredevil series, which is part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I'm told.
Yeah.
But it's interesting, because that's like 6.5 hours of all Daredevil. I mean, if you watch the episodes all back to back to back to back to back. And going from that to like watching a 1.5 hour movie must make you kind of sad. So I say TV is the future of movies.
Oh, this is a good point.
Well, it's kind of like TV will probably end up mostly on the internet soon, because less and less people are just, because it's like you could just watch it on your computer. It's like, well, what if you want to watch it on TV? Well, you can just plug your computer into your TV. It's pretty easy now. Most TVs are like, have like whatever, Bluetooth or like Ethernet, or I don't even know how you do it.
HDMI?
Yeah,
That's
something
usually
like
what
that.
it is.
And you
If you
can
have a
just plug
laptop.
it in. So like you don't need, you can have a TV still, but you don't need cable, and you can still watch TV on that television. But movie theaters would probably still be like enough of a novelty to stay around for a long time, because it's like, sure, you could watch a movie on Netflix or Hulu or other website where you can watch Amazon Prime, iTunes, really compressed
GameCola.net.
really compressed YouTube video with the image flipped and half the screen cropped out.
Yeah. Like, where for whatever reason there's like a weird border that takes up 3/4 of the screen and the video is in the corner, and like flipped and like
And there's like a filter, like a white filter, that gradient filter that's like bright in the center and like dim on the sides. And there's like a buzz, like the audio changes quality every like 30 seconds.
Well, going back to...
We're not getting sued. Also, I'm not the owner of any of this material. You can't sue me.
I love the like when someone posts something that's like a clearly like a copyright violation, but they just put like the definition of fair use at the beginning of their video. It's like, this doesn't apply to your video. Just because you claim fair use doesn't mean that you're right.
Yeah. Like, no lawyer is going to look at that and go, well, undefeated.
Got me.
All those years of college gone down the drain.
Now, going back to what you said, though, about how you can use Netflix and all that as opposed to going to the movies, the thing is about Netflix and Hulu, it's like all these new movies, they don't come out until like a few weeks later after they've been in the movie theaters. So that's still the ideal place to go unless you want to do something illegal and watch that crap.
Right, well, but that's what I'm saying. Like, movie theaters will still hold their novelty for a while, I think, because, like, even aside from that sort of thing, just like even if it got to the point where they were being released on
Released? What are these, like, shoes?
On streaming sites at the same time that they were being released in theaters, people might still go to theaters because just you got the big screen, you got an excuse to go out with friends.
Yeah, they got those reclinable couches now too.
Like you can still make an event out of it, and you've still got a better. It'll be
and you could watch 30 hours of previews for things you don't want to see. It's great.
You can just show up late.
I showed up
You're
late.
Right.
Yeah, show up late and there's no seats for you anymore.
Well, you don't go to the movie on opening night. You go on to like the last one that it's running and there's like no one in the theater at all.
Well, but then you might as well
just get the mentality is you go on opening day.
Yeah.
Am I the only one who thought that we should just put an ad for GameCola up on the movies?
Just take the old how to spell GameCola video, just submit it to a movie theater and all its early 2000s glory? Was that when it came out, or late 2000s?
Probably late 2000s. But
we need to make another one. The 2015 version.
YouTube getting rid of the 10-minute limit rule.
Yeah, it was before then.
If we do make a new one, we need to add like the little gradient.
Make sure we don't get sued.
Then put the video in the corner. We don't want to be sued by GameCola.
There's a dollar theater here that they actually play like local ads for local businesses. So I wonder how much it costs to do that.
Could use all of GameCola's ad money to buy another ad.
Yeah.
It's a dollar theater, so it should just cost $1.
Yeah, like I can't imagine how like they charge that much, honestly.
Just for our ad alone, they're gonna cost double.
Once it sort of gets to that point where it's sort of on your computer, they could become more interactive. Like, what if it comes full circle and all movies and TV shows basically become Homestar Runner episodes where you can like click on the screen and make things happen? That would be, I could get behind that. Watching whatever. What show are the kids into these days?
I don't know.
Barney and the Dinosaur Island.
Barney and Friends. You could watch Barney
Game of
and Friends.
Thrones. Game of Thrones. How's that?
Game of Cola.
Don't watch. Barbie Fashion Fairies. That is a disaster.
It's not as advertised.
But like clicking on it, and then he says something about a dragon, and then you click on his like mouth when he says that, and then a little poorly animated cartoon of a dragon like pops up and like breathes a little cartoon fire and then goes away. I could get behind that. game, and then or you could turn on Asteroids while you're watching 2001: A Space Odyssey and just play that on the screen as it's going. And if you blow up the rocks, people die less gruesomely.
I don't think anyone really dies, at least not particularly gruesomely, unless you count HAL 9000. It's going to be banned in the future when robots are accepted legally as conscious entities. They're going to talk about the old days with anti-robot sentiment.
I think we'll be doomed long before that.
Someone's going to
Civilization's
recreate the
gonna
Terminator.
collapse in what was it, 2025, when Zach Rich gets attacked by the moon people?
That's a good point.
I don't know. It's 2015, and Back to the Future wasn't right.
Yep.
But we changed the timeline. Did you ever see that theory where it was because Doc Brown didn't live he didn't go on to, because there's a newspaper article where it says Doc Brown invents blank and the world is saved and super happy and things become so advanced. But because he went back in time from from the second Back to the Future movie, he never lived from 1985 to 2015 to invent all the things that made everything so advanced. And that's why it's different for us.
Time travel will do
I
that.
thought it was because there was no such thing as a Doc Brown in our society. And that he was just a character in a story.
I like my theory.
That's what Biff wants you to think.
I think my theory.
I see.
There's a Back to the Future video game, right? This is still on topic.
Yep.
We did a walkthrough for it on the GameCola YouTube channel, which everybody can watch.
Was it
on a YouTube near you?
GC.net, gaming outside the mainstream.
Because Back to the Future is totally not mainstream. Back to the Future time travel doesn't occur until October. We still got some time.
That's true. That's true.
I mean, at least they did predict that we would be obsessed with the 80s in 2015.
Yeah. Donald Trump for president.
Yeah. There were a couple
Bush Clinton for president. Wait. I'm getting too close to home.
When he goes to the antique store and it's full of 80s things, and it's yes.
He goes to the 80s themed bar.
It's funny because I always say antique stores are yesterday's treasures at tomorrow's prices.
That was pretty, and you have to use your hands.
It's like a baby's toy with a very tiny Elijah Wood.
So question, in terms of real time travel and stuff, how far in the future do you think you could go without being confused? I think maybe I would know the name of the next 3 presidents, but beyond that, I don't think I would know who any of those people are.
Probably about a month.
Probably about a month, yeah.
If I win,
who's the president? What year is this?
What year is this? 2015.
Who are all you people?
What year is it? 2015. Oh no, I overshot it. All right, here's a question about video games and the future. Okay, we were talking earlier about the next Nintendo console, but let's go 2 console generations into the future.
Whoa!
What is it gonna look like? What's it gonna look like? Predictions.
It's like
go.
a triangular.
No,
triangle.
Oh, the game triangle.
Not just the Nintendo one, but just in general. Right now, it's Nintendo, Sony, and
period.
Xbox.
Period. Game pyramid. It's
gonna
be the game pyramid.
Hershey's.
It comes with
Hershey's goes into gameplay.
Oh. Next generation.
Next generation.
Yeah. Sony is the only one still in business.
What happened to Nintendo? I mean, it's probably kind of telling that I didn't ask what happened to Microsoft.
The Wii 2 was a total failure. Everyone's parents bought them games for the Wii U and didn't realize it was a new console.
Japan got flooded due to the melting of the polar ice caps.
Yeah. And so did
they had to relocate to Michigan.
Japan had to relocate to Michigan.
Wait, but
it was awkward,
Then how did Sony stick around?
Sony Sony was an early bailout. They bailed out 3 months before the Great Migration. Because as we know, that was what was it? That was October 1st, the end day.
Yeah.
At least that's
We'll
what
see.
they refer to it as. But I mean,
Crystalis, after the world did in fact end on the end day, Crystalis became widely popular
Yeah. It was seen as ahead of its time.
to the point where there was a new successful console on the market called the Crystalis, and it only played Crystalis. And it sold like hotcakes. It was $5,000, but everyone bought one anyway.
After Nintendo was underwater, Nintendo of America tried to take over.
Reggie just punched Miyamoto in the face and said, "I'm taking over."
He launched the Nintendo USA #1.
I like how they included that. Was it spelled like number sign? But everyone thought it was just a hashtag, and that Nintendo was being that Reggie meant that it was supposed to be the Nintendo USA #1, but everyone thought it was the Nintendo USA #1, and I thought that's a really dumb name, and so no one bought it.
Yep. But it did finally have actual next-gen graphics instead of like last-gen.
Wait, next-gen graphics? So it was next-gen, but it still had next-gen graphics. Or did it have next-gen graphics, even though it was only a next-gen console?
We'll see, yeah.
Yes, that's your response.
Yeah, because I was gonna say is that he was trying to finally bring the Nintendo console into the next generation era, and then he realized that the prediction was made 2 generations before, so he still ended up a generation behind.
Capcom releases the Mega Man Mythical Collection, which includes 3 copies of Mega Man 2 and nothing else.
It's just
one for each gameplay mode. Yeah.
As many times that you can fit Mega Man 2 onto a DVD.
Onto a Blu-ray, Jeddy. It's the future.
Yeah. Well,
it's a Blu-ray chest. They went like a logic loop and circled back into cassettes, but it's still made by the same company, so it's a Blu-ray chest.
Oh.
Or we might be going further in the future. It's a Red Ray.
Yeah.
But spelled RED.
That's how spread is spelled. No, they're gonna make their own called N-Ray.
REDE.
Read
No.
Ray.
Okay, REDDE.
It's gonna be called N-Ray.
Ye olde Red Ray.
Yes. What else? What else? What's gonna happen to the Final Fantasy series? Because they're at 14 now. By next gen, they'll be at. Oh no, they're at 15 now, so they'll be on at least 17.
Yeah.
Jay, tell us what Final Fantasy 17 looks like.
Well, no, see, it's going to be Final Fantasy 18, and they're going to legally request that Final Fantasy get its own voting rights, as it is now 18.
It's just a voting simulator.
Well, no, but then, okay, and they elect the new American president who, loves the Nintendo USA #1.
They just elect Reggie as president of the United States.
Perfect.
And
Future.
No, Phoenix Wright number 12. Apollo finally gets killed.
Pokemon Heliotrope and Chartreuse come out.
Well, I like Chartreuse. I think Heliotrope was kind of a little too cliche for me, but Chartreuse was
Jade
nice.
and Opal.
Innovative.
New Super Mario Brothers USA #1 is a critical failure.
Yes. Well, but everyone liked the new Mario Tennis game.
Yeah. What
Zelda, we're finally releasing them more than once every 5 years. That was a good decision strategy on their part.
Splatoon becomes Nintendo's new biggest franchise.
Who's the new Super Smash Bros. USA #1 challenger? Who's on the roster? Super Smash Bros. #1.
Wait, are we still talking about the future, or are we talking?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you were asking about the actual new character that was added.
No, I don't care about that.
We can talk about that after.
The future.
In the future, the
They'll bring in E.T. from the.
Yeah, this would be the sixth game. The sixth game in the series, which would have Mario would no longer be a major character. All the Mario characters are gone. There's Mega Man and Proto Man, but they're just clones of each other.
Well, you can unlock NES you can unlock NES Mario, but he's
Pokemon Trainer's gonna return with all 400 plus Pokemon.
All 600, 700 plus,
800 plus. Remember they added a new game in 2019.
There'll be 2 new generations, so they'll probably have hit 1,000 by then.
Yeah.
Xenoblade XYZ. They'll have characters from that.
They'll have Goku for some reason.
They'll have 15 Splatoon
Superman
characters.
Batman.
They're the most recent Xbox console will be a playable character, but it'll be like worse than Pichu was.
And there will be a mime. There will be a mime who actually doesn't do much fighting.
Sonic Boom, the Sonic Boom series loops around to being just so terrible that it becomes critically acclaimed. And all the Sonic the only character to appear is that the Badger from the TV show. That's the only character in the Smash Bros. Not even regular Sonic. This is a weird future.
And don't forget Metroid High School.
Metroid High School.
Yes, Samus.
And GameCola becomes the official government.
USA #1.
With Reggie in charge.
So who's in the new Smash Bros?
Street Fighter guy.
Ryu from Street Fighter, and Roy.
They brought back Roy.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm just sitting here like, okay, so they got Ryu and Roy. Like,
anyone else whose name begins with an R?
They got Ryu and Rio. Ryu and Rio.
Ruby.
Ori, Roy, Eero.
Yeah.
Uncle Eero.
But I think you actually have to. I think you have to buy them. I think it happened while I was away, so I can't check into it. But I'm pretty sure you have to purchase the characters if you want to use them.
Oh, that's new. Characters are DLC.
All right. Is there anything that someone's dying to add before?
Do we have any fan mail? I don't know.
We don't. Yeah. That would be that is a good suggestion, but we do not have any fan mail.
Do they know where to send their fan mail?
Yeah, Joseph Martin, podcast commander. Could you tell us how we could send fan mail if we wanted to send fan mail?
Well, if you were to decide that yes, I need to speak to the GameCola Podcast specifically, then what you would want to do is to first either log into or create your very own internet email account. There are many varieties of email account. You may peruse them at your leisure. Any type will work, except if it's a weird one. If it's a weird one, it might go into our spam. Type. But we read our spam anyway, so that'll be fine. Then what you do is you go into the create new email button, and you go into this top where it says recipients, and you type in PODCAST, and then you hit Shift and 2 with that weird A thing on it, and it should make that weird A thing appear.
Or if you live in like Japan or some other country that has a different keyboard layout, there's an @ button next to the P.
Okay, good. Yeah, we don't want to forget about that.
Covering all our bases.
So after you've done that, you type GameCola.net, and if you want to know how to spell GameCola, just search YouTube. We have a whole video on that.
It's true. A lot of people don't know how to spell GameCola.
It's brilliant. How to spell it, yeah.
Including staff.
Look it up in the dictionary.
Then you so first you might, if you so desire, you can type a little message right below that in the subject line, and then below that there's this big white space, and you can type pretty much whatever you want, and then you hit send, and then you wait about a month or less depending on when you send it, and then we read it and we make fun of sometimes. But not usually. Usually we would just make fun of ourselves. If you spell things incorrectly, though, we might go into hacks and slash mode. But yeah, That's how you do it. Did I leave out any important steps? I told him to hit the send button, right?
I think so.
Okay, good. Hit the send button.
Did you? We told them how to find out how to spell GameCola.net.
Yes, search GameCola. If you don't know how to spell GameCola, just type in GameCola into your search bar, and
If
there'll
you
be a
can't
video.
figure it out, get a friend.
Spell GameCola.
Unless you're a Nintendo fan, then you don't have friends because you're lonely.
While you're waiting for that search result to load on the how to spell GameCola, you could partake in our actual internet website, GameCola.net. Just type that into your search bar as well.
www.gamecola.net.
I thought you said GAN for a second, and I was like, no, we don't want to go to GameCola.net.
What is GameCola.net?
GameCola.net. It's like a workout.
It's a horrible ripoff.
It's like a workout site where they just talk about muscle gains, from soda drinking.
It's like Powerade, GameCola.
You might be on the GameCola website if you're listening to this podcast, but perhaps if that's the case, then you could check out our YouTube channel, which also has podcasts and other things on it. That is gc.net. The user name is that. Sentence structure. It's the letter G, the letter C, the word dot, and the word net. gc.net.
Yeah, GCDOTNET.
What else? We have the Twitter at GameCola, the Facebook, just search GameCola. Oh, we're on iTunes. So you can listen to us on iTunes. You can put us on your little cellular device if you want to. Listen to podcasts that way. There's also this rate option where if you like the podcast, you give it 5 stars. And if you don't like the podcast, then you just don't touch the rate option at all.
Yeah.
It's very simple. So yeah, just follow those instructions and you'll be fine. There's the Tumblr that we never do anything with.
Yep.
But some staff members like us to plug it anyway.
Why was that segment that you just said there? Why did that remind me of Five Nights at Freddy's?
I don't know.
He sounded like the guy on the phone.
I'm not.
Just follow the instructions and you'll be just fine. Anyway, continue.
You won't be eaten by an animatronic if you rate us on iTunes. But if you rate us badly, you might. Yeah, so
You
don't
wouldn't want
be eaten
that
by animatronic and just rate us highly on iTunes.
Yeah.
Is that everything? I think that's everything.
I think that is about everything.
All right. Well, thank you, everyone, for joining me and the viewers for joining us on this notable GameCola podcast where I make a mess of everything and nothing goes correctly.
GameCola Podcast USA #1.
Yep. All right. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
There's so, we were talking about fan fiction. There's so much Five Nights at Freddy's fan fiction.
At the end of the podcast, we should add the little screech from one of the animatronics. Just to throw them off.
I'm not going to scare anyone.
Don't scare our listeners.
No.